I feel like I've grown a lot, just as a all-around player. I think obviously my playmaking has, grown and been better than in recent years, and defensively, and just, I feel like this is probably the best season I've had. I go from not making All-NBA to being first team, so, there was some growth there.
Steve, over here.
Steve Ashburn, NBA.com. First, are you keeping that ball away from Draymond?
Oh, like the other day?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my ball.
You brought it, okay. How hard is it to approach a game where you guys want to concentrate on keeping your turnovers down? Don't turn over the ball, don't turn over the ball. Does that get in the way of just sort of playing free and easy if you're focused on one area like that?
I don't think so, because I feel like, from watching film, there are a lot of things. There were some frequency turnovers, right? Some situations where we kept getting in the same spot that were causing turnovers. So maybe we can stay away from, jumping in the air and passing it, or, jumping off one leg and being more under control, while still playing free. We can do both.
On your right, Tim.
You joked the other night that you guys don't put yourselves in these positions on purpose throughout the playoffs, and Ime's kind of in a similar vein, jokingly said a few times that you guys kind of have to make it hard on yourselves, it seems like, to get where you want to go the way things have gone. What do you think has kind of led you guys repeatedly being in the situations of what have you learned about yourselves as a group and the way you've been able to persevere through them so far?
I think just how we respond. It hasn't been easy. It's been extremely tough. We've had some tough losses. Losing Game 5 against Milwaukee, was extremely tough. Just knowing that we had to win too, go on the road, and losing Game 6 against the Heat was extremely tough. But in those moments we just responded. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think just our will to want to win. Just trying to figure it out.
Team and obviously different location, but do you draw anything from that Game 6 against Milwaukee going into tomorrow, given the situation and the opponent and everything? Then, obviously defending champions, these guys have been in there before. Is any of that part of your thought process over the next 24 hours?
I think my thought process is, and as it was in that game and Game 7 against the Heat, it was just do whatever it takes to win. And that can look different from game to game. But we won all those games, and, I felt like, myself and everybody else did whatever it took. And, that's the mindset you got to have going into tomorrow. And then, hopefully a Game 7.
Adam?
Jayson, kind of along those lines, what's your source of optimism entering this game and kind of for the rest of the series, knowing you've been in tough spots before, whether it be earlier in these playoffs or, way back in January? How do you guys kind of step back and look at the bigger picture and say that what you want is still in front of you?
Just because it is. Right? It's the first to 4. So it's like, it's not over with. So as long as it's not over with, you got a chance. And I think having done it before, should give you even more confidence that you can. Not that it's going to be easy or it's going to be given to us. But, you should be extremely confident as long as you got a chance. And, we got a chance tomorrow.
On your right, Gary.
Gary Watts from Boston Globe. Jayson, obviously the NBA championship trophy is going to be there. You don't want them celebrating on your floor. You don't want them partying later on that night in Boston and all that. Is it up to you, Marcus, Jalen, Ime, to get everybody on collective, like, of how important this game is? I mean, do you need to be more vocal, or is it just kind of collectively assumed? Or, I mean, how do the emotions before a game like this differ from a normal game?
We are professionals and adults. We know it's at stake, and everybody in that locker room, should and is going to understand, what we got to do and what's on the line. So it shouldn't take, a hero speech or anything like that. Everybody should be juiced up and ready to play. you know, and I'm not even going to say if they not, it's a problem. Like, everybody's going to be ready to play. I'm not worried about that at all.
David Aldridge in the Georgia Center.
Hey, Jason, I know you guys had very difficult series with Milwaukee, very difficult series with Miami. Does this feel different from the mental aspect of having to guard a team as experienced as Golden State, and conversely, having to score against a team that defends as well as Golden State? It's kind of like a mirror image of yourself in some ways.
Yeah. I mean, they're a great team, and they present different challenges than Milwaukee and Miami, you know. I think that's just part of the playoffs, adjusting to different teams and the different challenges that they, you know, give you. And you got to adjust pretty quickly, you know, moving from series to series. And this is no different. So, you know, it's a challenge nonetheless. It's just a different one compared to playing Milwaukee and Miami.
Front right.
Hey, Jason. From a minute standpoint, you mentioned at the end of Game 5, you thought, you know, fatigue might have been a little bit of a factor for you guys in the fourth quarter there. From your standpoint, you've obviously you're playing leading the league minutes. I've carried a huge minutes load all year. What's the, you know, going into a win or go home game? What's the balance for you, and what are the conversations you'll have with teammate during a game in terms of, you know, obviously playing as much as you can, but, you know, balancing out the need for a little bit of rest to maximize what you can do?
You know, is Game 6, you know, it's elimination game. There's not really time to be, you know, finding time to rest. You know, obviously throughout the course of the game, you know, me and him would talk if there are spots to find time to rest, but, you know, that's what timeouts are for. And at this point in the season, at most we got 2 games left, so it's just mental. You gotta fight through that. You know, I'm not the only person that's tired or dealing with injuries or whatever. You know, it's the last 2 teams standing. We've been playing 6-7 months. So everybody dealing with something. So I'm not really focused on that at all. Just, you know, we got at most a week left, and then, you know, I could rest all summer.
Hey,
Back
Jason,
right.
back here. Just wanted to ask you about, Ime was just talking about building his coaching staff this year, and he said that when he was building it, the players stepped up and said, we need to keep Joe Mazzulla on this staff. Why did you feel that he was such an important member of the coaching staff, and how have you seen him grown as a coach?
I didn't say that. No. I love Joe, and I think you know, just being around him for the last, I think this is his 3rd year, maybe second or 3rd year. You could tell how passionate he is about, you know, the guys and his craft, and he's gotten so much more knowledgeable and more detailed and just more vocal and you know, more comfortable in his role as a coach. You've seen the growth from his first year, and he's helped me out tremendously, you know, as a player and as a person. You know, so I can't say enough good things about Joe, and, you know, everybody appreciates, you know, what he brings to this team. And, you know, I'm glad that we, you know, have him.
Back row towards the left here.
Like Manning, CLNS Media. Jason, Jalen was just talking about the pace you guys need to play at and some of the possessions where you guys let the shot clock run down a little bit. Just, I'm curious, what is going on in certain possessions when you guys do get stagnant, or that shot clock's at 14 when you get into it? Just like, what slows you guys down at times, you think?
I think being in our spots, you know, we just got to be conscious of, you know, not walking in spots, you know, getting there with some sense of urgency. You know, you play in the half court and let them set their defense, they're really, really good. So I think, obviously, it starts with getting stops and then kicking the ball ahead, you know, when you do get a stop, and playing in transition. Even if you don't score, you know, just putting pressure on the defense, and then bring it back out and set something up. But, you know, walking the ball up and things like that against them is, you know, it's tough to score.
Davide towards the middle with the last one.
Hi, Jason. Davide Chinedato with the Gazzetta from Italy. Walking around the city, you can tell the Celtics pride, how much the city is behind you guys. how much do you think is important and gives you extra motivation to play this game at TD Garden, and how much the fan can help you, win this one?
Yeah, it's great being back home. It's the last home game of the season. So, looking forward to being in front of the crowd, knowing that they're going to be behind us and giving us that extra boost of energy as they have my whole career. So I'm extremely excited to see them tomorrow. It's going to be extremely loud in here. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great atmosphere. So, looking forward to that.
Thank you, Jason.